This is our second video in the Mint Tax series. In this video, we will be analyzing employee travel expenses, which is one of the key expense categories which needs to be reviewed when preparing the annual PAYE settlement agreement, PSA. The data we will be analyzing is for the 2017-18 tax year, i.e. the period from 6th of April 2017 to 5th of April 2018. Our client has employees on an NT no tax code, as well as expatriates on assignment to the UK. These expatriates have a certificate of coverage in place and therefore not subject to UK national insurance. This will be important when the eventual PSA computation is prepared. Late night taxi expenses are reimbursed by an employer where an employee is having to work late, and in cases where public transport is no longer available or is no longer a safe option. One of the key considerations in applying the late night travel exemption is determining whether the taxi journeys are infrequent. With our Mint Tax application, employers can set different internal limits depending on their own risk appetite. In our example, our client has set an internal threshold of 75. If the total number of journeys per employee is less than this limit, then only taxi journeys in excess of 60 are treated as taxable. If the total number of late night travel journeys is more than 75, then all taxis will be viewed as being frequent and therefore taxable. Our client in this example is not sure whether any weekend travel to office or spouse travel is being reimbursed to employees. In performing our analysis, we will therefore adopt a prudent approach and assume the answer is yes in both cases. The next step is to complete the data template and upload this into our application and run the associated analysis. One thing which will be of interest is the time it takes our application to completely analyze the expenses data. In this example, our analysis started at 11:08 p.m. and completes at 11:09 p.m. It has therefore taken Mint Tax just under 60 seconds to completely analyze over 55,000 lines of travel expenses data. We can now download and review the expenses data in Excel format and take a closer look at the analysis which has been performed on each expense line. Our analysis is split into 4 separate worksheets: a summary worksheet, late night taxi summary, late night taxis, and other travel. The summary worksheet provides an overview of all the taxable expenses on a per category basis. This, as you will note, is split between different columns depending on whether, for example, someone is subject to national insurance. The late night taxi summary worksheet provides a detailed breakdown of the analysis which has been performed in determining whether or not the expenses qualify for the late night travel exemption. Taking the first employee as an example, Daniel in total had 66 potentially exempt late night taxis. This is below the internal limit of 75 which is set in the application. As a result, only the taxi journeys over 60 have been treated as taxable, and this comes to 1,130. Similarly, the same analysis has been performed for all other employees. Let's take a look at the other travel expenses which have been uploaded into the MinTax application. As you will note, MinTax provides a detailed line-by-line breakdown of each expense line and allocates this into different categories depending on the tax treatment. For example, when an employee is traveling from home to the office and the company reimburses these costs, for example, because it's an early start, these would be taxable and would have to be reported. Furthermore, any travel expenses relating to staff entertaining events would also need to be picked up and reported. MinTax therefore provides a thorough analysis of all potential taxable travel expenses. MinTax is the only application in the market which offers this level of employee expense analysis for companies. As you will have seen from the analysis performed on the employee travel expenses, all taxable expenses and non-taxable expenses are identified to help employers maximize compliance, minimize time spent, whilst at the same time maximizing savings. This is through utilizing any tax exemptions or reliefs available and minimizing the cost of outsourcing the analysis to, for example, a third-party advisor. If you are interested in a live demo, please get in touch with us and we would be happy to discuss your requirements in further detail.